What's going on YouTube? Quentin here from Double Edge Games, and I'm going to bless you guys with another review today. We're going to get down with a free-to-play first-person shooter that is called Combat Arms Lineup. Ooh, damn, hold on. Boy, if you don't get... Excuse me. It's actually called Line of Sight. That was the original name. So before I actually get into what this game is pretty much about and how I feel about it, I'm just gonna let you know the background of this game. So pretty much this game was Combat Arms Line of Sight. It was gonna be Combat Arms 2. And then Nexon decided to drop the entire idea, and they're just like, you know what, we're gonna just build upon what we already have with Combat Arms, and Line of Sight, you can go fuck yourselves. Pretty much what they said. So the people who developed Line of Sight was well into the game's development, like cycles damn near in beta, and they're just like, you know what, let's actually, bring this to early access on Steam, and we can see, if we can get our game out there. So they took Combat Arms out the title and just called it Line of Sight, and they charged around $10 for you to actually get started playing when it first dropped on Steam. And then they reduced it down to $5 about a few months down the line. Now, here's the problem with how they went about that. I understand getting people, to fund your game is difficult, especially when you're a free-to-play game and you don't have to really pay for anything. But the problem with that is you were charging people $10 a pop for pretty much, unless you follow Combat Arms, you would know about this game, and then if you didn't, it just gets buried in Steam's massive library. So it's just like, it really brings two things. One, you get people who don't even know about your game, and two, you get people who play the game and they can't even play with people. I didn't buy this game. I received it as a gift from my girlfriend, literally on my birthday. She was like, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I've been eyeing this game for a while, so hook me up with a code. And she was like, yeah, I got you. And then I played it. I only got to play against bots, and the bots would only crowd up in one area because their AI was so terrible, and you would just spray them down. So I've never got a feel for how actual human players play. I've only maybe played an actual full game, like with actual people, 2 times in that game. Only twice, and that's actually when I first got the code. I only found like 2 servers, and then after that I checked on it for months and months and months, completely empty, not a server in sight. So with that being said, nobody really got a good chance to really experience what this game had done wrong and actually help them fix whatever was wrong with their game or give them feedback on it in general. So it was very difficult to actually completely play the game. And then actually when I got into the games with people, I really didn't have much of an issue because it was only like maybe a good 3 or 4 people on the other team, and you can do at least like 6v6 or 12 full players, or I think actually 8 versus 8 you can do, but I literally couldn't even do that. So that was one big issue that I had with that game. And then when it comes to when the game actually fully came out, I was like, okay, let's finally see if we can get some people playing. The best thing that I saw was those lobbies were filled, so that's a good thing. They got the word out somehow. People saw that this shit was free, and everybody instantly went to download it. So I was like, cool, we actually got a community here, so I can actually fully experience the game. Here is where I'm going to get into how I feel about the game. I'm going to go with positives and then negatives. I always start with the positives first, just because that's my double edge format. Then I'll go into the negatives later on, just to let you know exactly what I hated about this game after fully getting the experience. So, positives. Number one, the thing I actually do like about the game is the weapons and how they feel. They feel like an actual gun. They feel very well. One thing I actually noticed is that when you shoot your gun, you can actually see your bullet stream, like literally out of your gun. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks really good. That's one thing I actually really like about that. And the gun customization is pretty much similar to a game, Ghost Recon Future Soldier back in the day, where you could literally customize everything on your weapon. Everything down to the handle, the trigger, the stock, the whatever you want to customize, you can do it in this game. So I love the customization. I love picking up different creations from other players that I've killed or teammate that died, and I want to see what type of weapon he has or what tickles his fancy, and sometimes that's how you actually get better combinations. So I love the customization in this game. One other thing I do like about the game is the time to kill actually seems pretty good. When you're shooting an AK-47, you should expect to drop them within 3 to 4 shots max. And then when they get at crazy long range, you're going to need a long range weapon because you're going to have mad bullet drop off. Which I'm going to get into of why that's a problem in certain game modes when I get to the negatives. But for the most part, I really haven't had an issue with the time to kill. I think it's pretty good. And even the hit detection is actually decent. Even joining servers that are not in North America, I've had decent hit detection with high ping. So I think the hit detection, they pretty much nailed it. Now, if you've had issues with the hit detection, you better take your ass in them forums and tell them. Because for me personally, I've not had any issues with that. So that's one thing I actually do like about the game. And the last thing that I do absolutely love about the game is actual superpowers that they have. I think they call them psionics in the game, but it's literally the exact same as, let's say for an example, like a specialist or even the operators that are in Ghost in the Shell First Assault, where if you get a certain amount of kills or if you're playing for a good time, you know, playing objectives, whatever it may be, you can actually fill up your meter. You have two different like super moves that you can use. You can do like this little quick dive thing where you can dash to a certain area, and then you also have, depending on what class you have, like usually when I play with the assault rifles, I have like this satellite strike where you can literally pinpoint an area where you want the satellites to come through and just crash in, kind of like an airstrike. So it literally feels like kill streaks, which I don't mind. And depending on which class you use, I think they even have like fireballs you can shoot. And from what I've seen, like when this game first came out, there was like weird like lightning bolts you were shooting. So I actually like it, but for some reason people usually don't play with them on. But I think for the servers that I've been playing for like the past couple days, people have been playing with them on more and more. So I think people, it's starting to grow on people a little bit. Okay, here's just a fair warning. This is the part in the show where I usually give all the negatives that I had on the game, and I'm usually not this cruel, but the experience that I had last fucking night, I suggest you get you some popcorn, get your snack, your beverage, because we about to have ourselves a little mini rant. So, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So, numero motherfucking uno on my list that really ticked me off was the maps in the game when it comes to team deathmatch. Probably like 3 maps on my list out of like the 6. It's just the map design. I don't know whose idea it was to design them this way or what it was, but it's just so flawed. And the reason why I say that, there's this one map that's based in Egypt, and I don't even know the exact name for it, but it's literally a damn rectangle. There's pillars everywhere, sand, and you have 2 areas of the spawn parallel from each other. If you walk up to your spawn, walk maybe, I don't know, 2 feet, spawn protection's up, you can get sniped from the other fucking spawn from across the map. And because snipers in this game act like actual snipers, if you walk up 2 feet, you're insta dead. Now usually you're like, hey, what's the big deal about that? Snipers do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, true, but I don't want to get sniped from their fucking spawn when I'm in my fucking spawn. It just doesn't make sense. It's a flawed map. The reason why I say that is because, hey, you can look at it like this. Well, if there's just one sniper there, just go around him and then just shoot him in the butt cheeks. Yeah, I wish I could do that. When you actually have a team of like 7 to 8 people and you have a good number in the middle and then you have maybe a couple on each other side of their spawn, one on the far left, one on the far right, and then one in the middle, guess what? Anything going around or in the middle is going to get shot. If the whole team is sniping, you're not gonna get anywhere on that map. Now you could just say, oh, we'll just whip out your sniper and just kill them. The fact of the matter is that should not be happening from just us getting killed in our spawn. I don't mind if they're on the far edge doing that shit. I don't mind that. But when you can shoot me from your own fucking spawn is a fucking problem. I just cannot stand that shit. It's ridiculous. You can get spawn trapped from just barely moving. You get Call of Duty spawn trapped in this game from just them being in their own spawn, barely putting in work, just aiming down their freaking scope. It gets ridiculous. And then there's this one map where, I don't know, the first time I got on it, I think it's called United or whatever the map may be. It literally looks like it's like a training ground area. Everything's like white and like semi, like I think like a bluish or like a black color. Either way, everything looks like it's tiled. And it looks like it's from like this sci-fi video game. The map, on paper, it looked good. But the problem is when you spawn, you step 2 feet to the right. You can see directly through their spawn, and then you're just shooting back and forth in the same spot. So you barely have to go anywhere. And then if you try to go anywhere, there's going to be somebody in that exact spawn or on the far right sniping to where you can't move anywhere. So this game, literally, if you don't act quick enough, you get fucking spawn trapped. Not because you're just fucking poo, just because maybe, hey, I stepped closer to the spawn before you did, and I just started lobbing nades over. It gets ridiculous. This shit should not be happening. Spawn protection and everything, and you can still get pooped on. Spawn protection helps a little bit, but for them to counter this issue, they would either have to rework a lot of their maps, because if you end up nerfing the sniper, guess what? Now that's rendered useless. Because if you make the sniper like a freaking 2 to 3 shot and it's a bolt action, they just gonna flip the fuck out. So it's either rework your maps or nerf your snipers, and I would much rather them rework a lot of the damn maps instead of them nerfing a damn sniper for what it's supposed to do. And then the icing on the cake about this whole situation is the fact that they would have known about this if there was actually people playing their game around the time when it was actually really being tested before they actually completely launch it and then turn a lot of people off. Because this game is still having mixed reviews as we speak, different from games like Ghost in the Shell, First Assault, and Dirty Bomb, who have mostly positive reviews just because their systems are just good, and then also their map design isn't bad. I don't feel cheated in those games like I felt in that game. And one last thing before I end off this rant is the fact that your gun rental system, that shit needs to be reworked. It really does. Me renting a gun for 3 days, damn near eating up 70 to 80% of my credits, and then for me to earn those credits back, I have to pour in countless days. I'm not saying like, if you play for a full day, you can get all your credits back, because you can't. You literally have to put a lot of time in order for you to re-rent a weapon just for you to keep redoing the cycle all over again. Some people, have jobs. Some people go to school. They don't have time to play a game for 3 days straight. Now, I wish it would have went on actual game time, but it doesn't. It goes on normal time. So if I buy a gun for 3 days, and then I got school and I got work and I got this and I got that, guess what? I just completely wasted a day, and then I only have 2 days left of that gun, and then half the time you don't even get to play for full days because you have other shit you have to do. Now, if it was actual full game time, I wouldn't have to worry about that. Or just don't rent freaking weapons. That system's played out. Nobody likes it. Dirty Bomb doesn't do it, even though their drop rates are fucking ass. And then Ghost in the Shell has the best. You can buy everything with in-game currency in that game when it comes to weapons. Camos you can spend actual money on. That's just cosmetic. It's not going to change the tide of the game whatsoever. But to get actual weapons, you have to use your in-game currency that you can only get when you play the game. So in order for you to get good weapons, you gotta grind and you gotta play. That's it. And then half the time, when I actually buy something that costs like 2,000 or 200,000 credits, I can actually earn 100,000 credits damn near in a day. It's ridiculous. So that mini rant's over. The game literally has me so conflicted. I really don't mind a lot of the negative stuff in the game, but when it comes to those core things that I just talked about, they piss me off. Now, easily, you cannot play Team Deathmatch. You can go play Domination or Search and Destroy. Those maps are completely fine. I have nothing against those maps whatsoever. I actually can enjoy myself when I play those different maps. But for me, for the solid maybe 2 days of me playing just Team Deathmatch, and then there were no other servers up of anything else, it just made me feel like that was all this game had to offer. But of course, you gotta experiment a little bit and see what game modes will work better. But Team Deathmatch, stay far away from that shit. Stay away from it unless you can actually play on that. I don't even know the name of that map. It looks like a shipment container, but it's the map that you can probably see in the gameplay background. That map I didn't have a problem with. It was small, but it was still good. I really didn't have an issue with that map at all. But for the most part, should you try this game out? Is it worth your time? The game literally is like maybe a gig or two, or like maybe 3 gigs. So I mean, it really doesn't take up that much space. It doesn't take much to run it either. So I would definitely give it a shot if you would like if kind of reminds me of like Modern Warfare 2 without the bullshit of Modern Warfare 2, but with its own bullshit. So it literally took me like damn near what, like 15 damn minutes for this video. Anyway, I would like to thank you guys for tuning into this video, and if you really enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And also, if you have any thoughts on this game, shoot them in the comments down below, or if you have any ideas for any games you would like for me to try and give my thoughts on, put it down in the comments down below. We can definitely chop it up. So I would like to really thank you guys for tuning in. This is Quentin from Double Edge Games, and peace out.